I didn't want them to get married. It took everything out of me not to object. But I didn't want to ruin that fantasy.
What is it about this man that she's so drawn to? I was honestly very frightened for her and the girls. I was very afraid.
As long as he was going to make everything right, then she was going to stick beside him. The Beauty and the Beast, but without the beast changing.
Look at me like that, bitch. I'm not playing with you. Please.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
She deserved more. Yeah.
I'm at home. Please, her. Please, please. No, please.
We grew up in a household of five siblings, and Olivia being the oldest, me being the second oldest. Olivia was a beautiful person inside and out. She was just very loving and caring. We're less than a year apart. So when I graduated, I moved out of my mom's house and moved with Olivia and her husband. My sister wanted to bring me under her wing, basically show me how to find a job.
I would always call her Fabulous Olivia. So this is probably one of those moments. She got the shades on, the drink, got her nails done, and the swimsuit. So this was just Olivia being fabulous. I know she was my sister-in-law, but I always say she was my sister because we talked about everything.
Olivia went into the tax business where she became very successful.
She was just always into something that was business oriented.
This is when Olivia first became a mom. This is my sister, Courtney. This is Olivia. This is my mother when she had short hair. And this is Ariel.
Mom looks so young. She looks so young. It was pretty cool growing up. We used to go camping a lot, going swimming, climbing trees and stuff like that. She always made sure that we had everything. Basically a kid's like fantasy.
The divorce with her and Al was very upsetting to her, very disappointing. I feel like it also made her insecure in areas. And she was still just trying to make sure that her and the girls were good.
She really had to start over. She definitely did want to meet someone new. She wanted to get that family aspect back.
She seemed reluctant, to kind of move forward. But, I told her, I say, hey, you got to put yourself out there. You need to date, have fun again.
I knew that she wanted to find someone that was actually going to love her and just be all for her.
When I first heard the news that Olivia had met someone, I welcomed it because I want to see her happy.
She always talked about how cute he was, and he has a good job.
He worked for the state of Texas as a prison guard. You would think that as a prison guard, they would be some type of protector for their families, for sure. As long as I can remember as a kid growing up, we used to have football Sundays where on a Sunday you come together, you come at somebody's house, and there's a lot of good food to eat and there's a lot of good football to watch.
Football Sundays at my in-laws. I had never seen anything like it until I married into this family. We would go straight after church and stay there until like 10 o'clock, sometimes later. Everybody will still be there, be a packed house.
Just a lot of good family time and got a lot of good family fun. And Olivia was the centerpiece of all of that.
First time I met Chris, I remember Miss Anita offering him, which is my mother-in-law, offering him some food. Olivia was sitting next to him. And he said, yeah, you can go fix me something to eat. He told Olivia to go and fix the food. And I just kind of brushed it off. I said, well, maybe he's just one of those guys, you know, very old school.
The first time I met Christopher, his whole dynamic was just off to me. When you talk to him, he comes off as arrogant. He is a know-it-all. And he used to tell me all the time, like, oh, I'm going to marry your mom and all this stuff. And yeah, I would be like, no, you're not. Like, no, you're not. And I would run and tell my mom, like, no, you're not going to marry this man. Please don't marry this man.
Early on in their relationship, Olivia and Christopher Jones had went out to a local restaurant in Beaumont, Texas one night. There was a young lady that Christopher Jones had been dating before. Got upset and started an altercation with Olivia.
We just happened to be there, and I guess this was a first date for them. And then we see these girls just jumping Olivia. It was 3 of them, and she was by herself. And one took off her shoe and was hitting Olivia in the head with it. You had one holding her, and the other one was just kind of fighting. Chris, and this is something I'll never forget, is not doing anything. I remember him laughing with his 2 friends.
At the time, the police was called, and of course, that's when Christopher Jones really tucks his tail and runs.
And I just remember Olivia getting in her Suburban at the time, and she was blood and was red and was crying a whole lot. And I remember trying to tell her, Olivia, calm down. And she was like, no, I want to go home. After the fight happened, I did contact Olivia. I said, you need to press charges.
But Chris told her to not file a police report because he was working at the prison at that time. So he didn't want it to come back on him. I never had a good feeling from Chris. Never. But she didn't see that.
Myself, my wife, and my kids, and Olivia and her children were at a local park here in Beaumont, Texas. We had been at the park playing and catching up. Noticed that my sister's phone kept ringing, but she would never answer it. And it would ring back to back to back, basically, and she would never pick up the phone. Olivia and her kids had got into her car. And all of a sudden, we see a truck kind of fly into the parking lot.
And I was like, well, who is this? And then I see Chris jump out the truck, leave his door open, and I see him punching her glass window. Like, he kept punching it. And at this point, Josh, he sees what's going on.
When I seen him banging on the window, I immediately started running up to the situation with my wife grabbing me, trying to hold me back.
And I just remember pulling my husband's shirt because I'm like, we got the kids right here. And I'm telling the kids, y'all stay right there. And then at the same time, I'm on the phone with 911. And I see Olivia crying and screaming, please stop, Chris, please stop.
I heard my Aunt Brittany say, I'm going to call 911. I'm calling 911 right now. And that's when he jumped in his truck and he sped off. And I remember him speeding off because he turned the corner so fast it looked like the truck was going to flip.
And at this point, my kids are hysterical. And I looked over and Yalia and Ariel weren't crying. When I noticed that, I instantly said, oh, they've seen this before.
When I got up to the vehicle and Olivia was crying in the seat, and at that point, that's when Olivia shut down. And she didn't want to talk about it.
After that altercation, it did change our relationship with Olivia. She stopped talking to us for about a year.
Looking back at it, I should have pressed it more. He isolated her, made her feel like the only people that was there for her was his side of the family.
They didn't try to justify it. They just said that they were going to counseling, that he was getting better, and he would basically never do it again.
Turn around.
I believe when Olivia cut us off around that time, she was in love with Chris. She was embarrassed by what he had done. And I think she wanted everyone to believe that their relationship was good. They were in a good space. From the conversations we had with my mother-in-law, the family, you know, just thought Chris was just this really good guy. But me and Josh, my husband, we knew the truth and we knew he had a dark side.
Lily, I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna protect you with my life. But only one way I can do it. You gotta be my wife.
Come on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, baby. Come on. Say yes.
I just remember seeing on social media that he proposed to her and they got engaged.
When she told us, I didn't have no words.
I think she considered, you know, this will make sure my girls are taken care of.
I didn't want him to be my stepdad, and I didn't want him in my life.
Olivia told me about Ariel having her reservations. And like I told her, you have to listen to your child. But she felt like it was because Ariel didn't want to see her move on with someone besides her dad.
As long as he made it seem like he was changing, that he was going to make everything right, then she was going to stick beside him. The Beauty and the Beast, but without the beast changing.
Deep down in my heart, I was very confused. I was wondering, what is it about this man that she's so drawn to? Why does she feel like him controlling her is love? And I was honestly very frightened for her and the girls. I was very afraid.
It was hell, basically. Chris definitely brought the prison to his house. He ran it like a prison. He oversaw it as a prison. So everything had to be done at a certain time by a certain way. Rooms had to be clean at all times. We couldn't have literally anything on the floor. The beds had to be made. It couldn't have no wrinkles or anything in the comforter. Like everything had to be straight, and like you had to literally take your hand and straighten out the blankets. Pillows had to be nice and neat. If we had the TV on and if he didn't like what was on the TV, he'd either make us cut it off or he'd make us change it. If you weren't in the room during the day, the door had to be open. So that way, if anyone came down the hallway, they would see how nice and neat everything was. The dishes had to be done every night, washed. The floors had to be cleaned every night. The rugs had to be cleaned every night. And his number one rule was like, whatever happens in this house stays in this house. One day, my mom called me into the kitchen and I told her, hey, like, I'll be right there. And he actually whooped me with the belt because he said that I shouldn't talk to my mom like that. It was a very difficult situation to be in. I feel like people need to know what's going on, especially like your family. And if they know what's going on, then they can help you. My mom and her mom talked every morning. And when she passed, it basically took away her other half. Chris tried to make it seem like he cared. He tried to make it seem like, oh, he was just so devastated. My mother-in-law passed away, but in all honesty, he really didn't care.
In our culture, and someone passed away, of course, everyone navigated to that house. And I just noticed that Chris was never there.
After my mother-in-law passed away, we got really, really close. And I just remember she called me and I remember her whispering. And I said, why are you whispering? And she said, girl, because he got them cameras in there and I don't want him to hear what I'm saying. And I was like, huh?
There were a total of 10 cameras. There were 2 in the front. Then they had one pointed toward the hallway right above the front door. He had another one in the corner of the living room so you can see the full living room and the kitchen. Like every inch of the house was covered in cameras except for our bedrooms and the bathroom.
That was just real creepy for me. You have no privacy, Olivia can't have a decent conversation without, him knowing about it.
He could look at the cameras anytime he wanted to. He can also talk through the cameras and we can actually talk to him back. So if while he was at work and he seen that we were in a hallway or something, he can actually talk through it. And there were also night vision. Everything was very disturbing. Because if you were living in a house, then you would know, like, this should not be happening. You're not supposed to be living in fear. One night, Chris and my mom were in the room arguing. The door was shut. And all I could hear was like, Chris, I can't breathe. Chris, I can't breathe. And I opened the door and I said, Mama, are you okay? And the door quickly slammed. And it slammed so fast that it hit my forehead. He came out and he started yelling at me. He started putting his finger right here on my forehead and like pushing me back. And I was like, you think I'm just going to let you put your hands on my mom? And she's telling me she's screaming out she can't breathe. Are you crazy? I said, Mom, are you really going to let him do this to you? Why are you doing this? Why are you allowing him to do this? And she basically said, Ariel, when I feel like enough is enough, then I'm going to leave. And I said, are you serious? You're really going to sit up here and let him continue to do this to you? He knew it. He knew that she wouldn't leave him as long as he said the right words. I didn't want them to get married. It took everything out of me not to object during the wedding. But I seen how her face was so lit up. She had the biggest smile on her face. You should have seen her, like her heart was so, it was so happy. I didn't want to be the one to ruin that for her because she had so many hopes. She had so many dreams to be a wife, to be a mother, to live in a stable household. I didn't want to ruin that fantasy for her.
And she came and she hugged us both and she was crying just to see us there. And she said, I'm just so happy to see y'all here because, you know, her sisters weren't there.
It was sad that my siblings weren't there. It was strictly because Chris did not want them there and they didn't feel welcome.
Chris wasn't going to accept anything that wasn't his way. If it was either his way or the highway. And if he said he didn't want someone there, then that person was not going to be there. He would get into fights at work. And his problems was he didn't know how to control his anger. He also brought recordings back to the house. The surveillance footage that he showed me showed him beating up the inmates so bad that he couldn't even move. They had to transport him to the ER with all his injuries. I couldn't look at that. It was too much for me. I've never seen that type of anger before in my whole life. He showed us so that way we can get in line also, to show like this is what he do to people that don't follow his rules. Chris was having troubles with his job. He was on suspension.
Olivia, at that point, had built up a clientele base where she had tons of clients utilizing her tax business. Seeing our family kind of struggle, it created an ambition within her for her to go out and want better in life.
She definitely made probably 2-3 times more than he did.
Olivia and Chris, what they did was start another business, which was a food truck business. So Olivia took the money that she earned and invested it into the food truck to get it up and going and get it running. And that way Olivia can continue to do what she was doing.
The idea, I would say, was his. but she was the one that was doing all the work. She was the one going to buy the food, prep the food, make sure the labels and stuff was correct. She made it seem like he did all the work, when in reality, the only thing he did was load the truck and cook the food. That was it. He just had her by the collar and just whatever he wanted, she was going to go do. So graduating high school, I just knew that I was about to go to college. I was about to be free. And I just had a big sigh of relief of me finally getting away from that house. But it also scared me because I had to leave them behind. Not only my mom, but my sister. That wasn't how things were supposed to go. And yeah. On February 13th of 2019, I had a feeling that I need to talk to my mom and just let her know, like, hey, I love you. I'm going to bring you your Valentine's Day gift up here tomorrow. After that phone call, I was a little uneasy, and that whole night I could not sleep. I just had a feeling like something was going to happen, like something was off, but I just couldn't put my finger on it.
Beaumont 911, what is the address of your emergency?
I'm at home. My wife is shot me. Please, hurry. Please, please. My wife, please.
On February 14th, I got a call from Chris around 9:12 in the morning, and he was basically saying, hey, Ariel, something happened.
Come this way. Okay. Please, come this way. This way, this way. Okay. Please. Olivia. Okay. Baby.
There. Okay. Get back. Get back.
What's up, Mr. Butler?
I was like, is she okay? Like, what's going on? And he was like, Ariel, it don't look good.
Yes. What happened? We had a disagreement. And I say, baby, if you're not working with me, you're working against me. I say, we've been doing this. My 19-year-old stepdaughter was 8. My 11-year-old was 1. I say, Olivia, if we can't get it together, we can't be together. Okay. We got several, and I say, I just want a divorce. Mm-hmm. And her reaction was, and I've been saying this for quite some time, mm-hmm. And her reaction was, if you don't want me, I'm going to kill myself.
And he said that she ran in the house and got the gun, and she put it up to her head, and she was telling him, if I can't have you, nobody can have you.
We got a loaded gun on the side of the bed. We got a loaded shotgun in the corner where the video games is.
And he said that when he was trying to get the gun, that it accidentally went off.
I said, give me the gun. She like, I don't remember which hand. I'm like, give me that gun. What is you doing? Stop trying to scare me. Uh-huh. I took it. So when you grabbed it, it went off? She yanked. I grabbed it and she yanked back. And the gun went off. Okay. The gun went off. All right. And I did the best I could. What's your last name? Jones.
I got there in a matter of 15 minutes. I drove around the corner. All I seen was cops, and I seen the caution tape. The police officers, they stopped me, and I was just like, I just want to see her. I went to his mom and I asked her, like what's going on? Is she okay? Like, is she alive? And she had the same face Chris had, blank. And she said, Ariel, she's not alive. And I broke down.
I pulled up to a site that I thought I would never see, with police everywhere, with detectives everywhere, with crime scene tape everywhere. I pulled up to a nightmare.
When I got on scene, Olivia's car was in the driveway. Her keys were on the trunk of her car. Her phone was inside of her car. There was cold food product in her car, hamburger meat, things of that nature. There was a bouquet of flowers in the car that seemed to have been there for Valentine's Day. It seemed like she was in the middle of something that morning, and it got interrupted by this incident. We made our way through the house to find Olivia, and she was deceased in her bedroom. She was lying on the floor on her stomach, partially clothed. There was a great deal of blood. There was blood spatter. It wasn't until we rolled her over and saw an exit wound coming out of her left eye that we realized that the round had actually struck her in the back of the head. Something that we did notice throughout the home were cameras, surveillance cameras. So we were hopeful we would be able to get some information from those cameras. Absolutely nothing on that scene pointed to a woman that was suicidal or depressed or intending on taking her life that day.
They're waiting for the lead detectives. They're going to be the ones that actually interview you. So
we first met with Christopher Jones at the Beaumont Police Department. He agreed to speak with us, seemed very willing to do so, wanted us to know what he said had happened. They were preparing the food truck. Sometime during that preparation, he grew upset because he felt that Olivia was not doing her share of the work, had failed him and was not keeping up where she should.
There's no reason that certain things wouldn't get done. I am very particular. Mm-hmm. If you heard that, that's true. I am very particular.
You strive for the best for people.
I work really hard, and I don't make excuses for myself. And I don't accept excuses for anybody else.
So because of these things, he decided he wanted to get a divorce. She stormed into the house, went straight to the bedroom, put a gun to her head.
And what did you say?
Really? Are you serious? Really? This is not going to solve anything.
Okay.
You know, you do not want to do that. Mm-hmm. Put that freaking gun down before you make a mistake and hurt yourself. She was crying. She was crying.
Well, during this time, we happened to ask him about the surveillance cameras around his house. We asked if we could have permission to view those on his phone. He was very willing to allow us access to those cameras.
Say if you want to access just that camera, you touch that. And that's just that camera.
Okay.
You follow what I'm saying?
So far, let's go back to devices.
Yes, sir.
And
everything is labeled.
Carport, backyard, front door, back door, laundry room, inside garage, living room, kitchen.
But the videos weren't there.
Why would there be no recordings on that?
I don't know. It should be. But like I said, the internet, you can go through days and it pretty much does it. We shouldn't have bought that. You just keep, you can pick whatever day you want and it's never going to be consistent. That's why I say it was a waste of money.
There was a change in Christopher's demeanor. He wouldn't look us in the eye.
Well, I'm wanting desperately to find some video on here that corroborates what you're telling us, but almost all the videos start right after this event happened.
The immediate reaction was that the system was faulty. He told me that he had been lazy in charging the cameras.
I was scared. I was scared.
Okay. Have you been honest with me today?
Yes, ma'am. I was confused.
Look me in the eye.
I was confused about a lot of things.
Look me in the eyes. If you've been honest with me today, tell me how many videos you deleted.
It was obvious that he was being very deceptive.
If I deleted those videos, I look guilty.
Not if you say right now, or you just say a while ago, I freaked out, I panicked, I did some stuff I shouldn't have done. Is that one of them?
Yes.
How many did you delete?
I don't know, honestly.
Okay.
How many had he deleted? And come to find out, everything except one camera. The only video that we saw around the time of the incident was the one showing that Olivia didn't go storming through the house. She didn't go to the bedroom. None of those things. She was actually in the kitchen, washing up, cleaning up from preparing food. Christopher was in the kitchen as well. He's the one that walked toward the bedroom first. He stopped in the hallway. When Olivia walked around to go toward the bedroom, she was startled to find him there. When that video ended, it was less than 3 minutes later that Christopher was on the phone with 911 saying that his wife was shot in the head.
I'm at home, my wife was shot in the leg. Please, hurry, please, please. My wife, please!
I think the reason that one camera was still there is he ran out of time. When Christopher was supposed to be saving his wife's life, he was out in the front yard deleting videos. By the time that interview had ended that day, Christopher was placed under arrest for murder.
And there were several videos shown during that trial that showed him being an absolute monster to my sister. It was like a nightmare living that trial.
Then you're gonna be looking stupid. Look on the floor. Look on the floor. Look on the floor, White. Look on the floor. Look on the floor. Look on the floor. Look on the... Why is that like that? I'm not paying attention. What my Leah? You wasn't worried about the son of a bitch a minute ago. That's your mother. Don't look at me like that, bitch. I'm not playing with you. Lazy. You want to do something out of that? Give it here. You got all the goddamn answers. You don't do a goddamn thing around this. Right. This your ass,
I know. I was gonna do
that's clean dish. That's clean.
I didn't want to. They fell on the floor, so I didn't want to reuse them.
You look at it. You don't pay attention what the f*** you doing. You all over the place, Olivia. You ain't got the kids to blame your f***ing off. Food on the wall. Who you burning now?
Me?
Harriet don't live here. It's you. It always been you.
Once I seen the video footage, I was just filled with sadness, so much sadness. I felt guilt as to why didn't I see that? Why didn't I know that she was dealing with it was just this bad? You know, why didn't I say something when I could have?
Typically, the victim will make excuses for the violent person. The victim will think that they can fix the violent person. And either way, they think that they're in love with the violent person. Once violence begins, it doesn't just stop.
Act like you ain't got no patience. You want to have a kid? I'll about my kid.
And I'm going to get emotional. It breaks your heart that she went through what she went through. It hurts to know that she, for whatever reason, could not remove herself from that relationship. And but for that, she would still be here today.
I can honestly say he took a piece of everyone's heart, everyone's soul. He crushed it.
Every day I put on this ribbon, this purple ribbon, I put that ribbon on every day in remembrance of her. And it signifies domestic violence. So I wear it every single day. I love her and I miss her dearly. It's a nightmare. Think about her all the time.
I want my mom to be remembered as that happy thought that everyone has, that place they go to when they need peace, joy, happiness. She deserved more. You know, like a smile that you see on everyone's face, like that's her. That food that you love, that's her. The one that makes your soul smile, that's how I want her to be remembered.
All right, guys, thank you very much for coming today. I have called you for a very special thing. We have an event day after tomorrow, and Khushi, you will make the necessary arrangements. Khushi,
Yeah, sure, sir.
you seem a bit off today.
Everything is good, sir. Don't worry, I will do.
All right, I am counting on you. All the very best.
ਕੱਲ ਰਾਤੀ ਰੋਈਆਂ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਏ ਤੂੰ ਵੀ ਰੋਇਆ ਮੇਰੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਚ ਲੜਾ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਤੇਰੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੁੰਡਿਆਂ ਚ ਅੜੇ ਤੂੰ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਨਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਨਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਾਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਖਰੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਦਿਖਾਵੇਂ ਇੰਨਾ ਨਾ ਸਤਾਇਆ ਕਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੀ ਜਾਨ ਨਿਕਲ ਨਾ ਜਾਵੇ ਮੈਂ ਜਦ ਵੀ ਕੁਝ ਬੋਲਾਂ ਨਾਮ ਬੁਲਾਤੇ ਆਵੇ ਨਾ 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 ਪੁੱਛਦੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੱਚ ਸੱਚ ਦੱਸੀ ਵੇ ਇੱਕ ਵੀ ਨਾ ਗੱਲ ਵੇ ਤੂੰ ਦਿਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਖੀ ਵੇ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਵੇ ਤੇਰਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਵੇ ਸੁਣ ਮੇਰੀ ਸੁਣ ਲੈ ਯਾਰ ਵੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੋਹਣਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਏ ਹਾਏ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਲੜਦਾ ਏ ਜਦ ਵੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਵੇਖ ਕੇ ਸੜਦਾ ਏ ਰਾਜ ਤੂੰ ਹਰ ਵਾਰੀ ਹੋਏ ਰਾਜ ਤੂੰ ਹਰ ਵਾਰੀ ਲਾਣੇ ਲਾਵੇਂ ਇੰਨਾ ਨਾ ਸਤਾਇਆ ਕਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੇਰੀ ਜਾਨ ਨਿਕਲ ਨਾ ਜਾਵੇ ਮੈਂ ਜਦ ਵੀ ਕੁਝ ਬੋਲਾਂ ਤੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ ਬੁਲਾਤੇ ਆਵੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਦਿਨ ਬਿਜ਼ੀ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਏ ਤੂੰ ਯਾਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਬਹਿਣਾ ਏ ਤੇਰੀ ਦੂਰੀ ਤੇ ਮਜਬੂਰੀ ਦਿਲ ਮੇਰਾ ਏ ਸਹਿੰਦਾ ਏ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਜਾਵਾਂ ਨਾ ਜਾਵਾਂ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ लगदा है भावें सिर मेरा तू खावे इन्ना ना सताया कर मैनू मेरी जान निकल ना जावे मैं जद भी कुछ बोला तेरा नाम बुलाते आवे
हे गाइस, तो अभी आपने हमारा दुनिया सॉन्ग देखा, सो प्लीज कमेंट करके बताना कि आपको सॉन्ग कैसा लगा।
एंड हाँ, वीडियो को लाइक करना, जाने से पहले रिपल म्यूजिक स्टूडियोज के चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लेना। थैंक यू, बाय बाय एवरीवन।